In Paris, France, in 1898, Henry Osawa Tanner, an American artist, painted the Annunciation. Today, that painting hangs in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. The picture features a young woman in a peasant dress seated on the edge of her bed. The figure is Mary. Mary has an expression on her face that can have many interpretations: surprise, disbelief, wonder, or confusion, all those looks and more. She gazes at a column of light, which we can suppose is the angel Gabriel. Whether Gabriel is coming or going is left to the viewer's interpretation. I imagined that the angel was leaving after holding the conversation we have just listened to in the gospel. Gabriel has dropped a bombshell and is leaving her alone. And she is saying to herself, so just how did I get here? How did I get here? It's a question that we might ask ourselves when we realize we took the wrong turn and are lost. Or it's a general question we ask to the sky when we're overcome by our day-to-day responsibilities. But how did I get here, when asked by Mary, is a question with much more weight. It's like the question asked by the man dying on the battlefield, or by the person being sworn into public office for the first time, or by the bride and the groom as they stand at the altar. It's a question asked by a woman who has just learned that she is going to have a child. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception is not about a conversation between Mary and Gabriel. It's about how Mary got there. You see, Gabriel didn't have any great, difficult work to do. It had already been done. The Catechism tells us that Mary was redeemed from the moment of her conception to be full of grace. Mary is the premier human creation. How can we call her anything else? Mary was formed and perfected by God before she had any notion that she would play so important a role in the salvation of mankind. She was born immune from original sin. By that gift, she was the one person on the earth who could be the mother of Jesus, God who walks among us. God approached her through an angel as he asked her to do his will. Yet, when the angel arrives to tell her this, she asks, "How can this be?" Or, "How did I get here?" You see, God knew all about his plan, but as we hear from the reading, Mary was a bit surprised. She was the most surprised person in the room, and she could have said no. Instead, she asked, "How did I get here?" Later, in another part of his gospel, Luke confirms this. He tells us that she kept all these things in her heart. That is, she thought about how she got there. We each have the same opportunity to ask the question and to discover how God has formed us to serve him. And with that knowledge, we can give Jesus a Christmas present, the gift of who we are and who God wants us to be. Like Mary, we have each received unique gifts which allow us to serve Jesus in the way that God intended. The challenge to most of us is to discover what has formed us in our lives and how we are to serve. We have to find out how we got here. The gospel tonight invites us to consider what happened to Mary before the angel Gabriel came to her to ask her to cooperate with God. It asks us to consider all the things God does or has done in our own lives that lay the groundwork for what God has planned for us to do in this life. But in order to do this, we have to ask the question, how did I get here? And we must ask God this question, and we must listen for his answer. We are each unique in this world. There is no one who is the same as us, and our life experience is different from anyone else in the world. If we do as Mary does and ask the question, we can begin to discover our own special importance in the world, and we can begin to find the special work that God has for us to do. How did we get here? How are we called to serve Jesus in a way that is unlike anyone else?